Alright, so today I'm going to show you, I've got a bit of vibration in the front. Sorry about the day, it's wet. And sorry about the wipers too. But what's actually causing this shudder is the rotors on the front are warped, or they're, you know, really rusted, or they're just old and worn out. Like, you know, you get no steering wheel shake now or anything. Like as you drive without you touching the brakes. I did notice I had a slight little bit of a shake when I was going to take off too, which could mean the caliper is make sure I'm not speeding here. It could mean the caliper's sticking too on it for a bit, like the caliper's actually dragging on the rotor. It's not like returning, because this car sat a few months, but you wouldn't think a caliper could be doing that. But I'm going up a hill here and I'll be able to take my hands off and I'll apply the brake, turn that off. Hopefully you can catch that. It's really violent. Hopefully it was a really good one then. I was in a straight line and I was putting the foot on the brake a little bit, just easing it on, and I got a real good one out of it then. And yeah, as I was explaining, that's the rotors and pads doing it in the front. So if you ever get that real violent steering shake and you wonder what's going on in your front end, that's what it is. And I'll show you how to install the new rotors and pads too. Not just show you what it's doing when you're driving the car, because this is the first time I've ever seen it. I've ever had a car doing this. Like, I've only ever had a car, yeah, I think I have to dress my wipers too. I've only ever had a car, actually the brakes squealing and that, and like, you know, not from squealing, from like really squealing when you go to apply your brake. It was like, you know, I've never had a steering wheel shake from brakes before. This is the first time. But these rotors have done 266,000 kilometres too. So I'm just assuming that, you know, people when they've never put the rotors on there, you know, people, I can't believe someone was driving a car like this, you know, shutters in the front and it doesn't irritate you. I mean, I can't drive a car like this myself without it irritating me. I'll give you another look at it. We're in them out. It literally, hopefully that caught beautiful on camera. It literally shakes the whole front of the car. Like, you know, you just couldn't believe it. But the next part of the video you'll see me installing the pads and rotors, then we'll go for a drive and we'll see how smooth they are, because I've got the brand new rotors and pads now. I was just waiting for them to come in, and I thought I'd show you this first before I change them, otherwise I won't be able to replicate it. But yeah, we'll come back when I'll jack the car up and we'll put the new rotors and pads on. Alright, so I took you in for a drive in the car and you've seen the part how it shakes and the discs are causing that shake. Now, I've got the discs here and the new pads. Let's install them. So what I've got to do is a jack under the car. I'm just going to jack the car up. We only want the wheel to lift off the ground just a little bit. That's heaps. You don't need it anymore. Make sure your jack's tight and put a jack stand under it. So I'll just do that now. Put the jack stand under here. And all the jack stand's doing is so it doesn't fall on the concrete. Now let's get the wheel studs off. If you've got a hand impact, it's good. I might have done them up a bit tight. I'll put them back on with the big ratchet what I got. Old impact is definitely getting work out. We've got one more to get. Old impact will get this though. Yep. That's what it is, the impactor. 18 volt. It's a BTW 450. They make life easy. So let's get the wheel off. Need to move the wheel out of the way. So what I'll do is I'll just move the wheel behind me. Sit it there. And what we've got to do is we've got to undo the caliper bolts, which I'm not real sure what size they were. 18s are they? No, they're 19s. Yep, they're 19. So 18, 19, and a ratchet. So there's one bolt on the top of the caliper that you got to get, which is this one, and there's one bolt in the bottom, which you might have to put that bolt a little bit of lubrication back on. That's the first bolt. Now I've got one down the bottom here. Same deal. Tight to get off. Go on it. I think the bloody me leaning on the disc and that wasn't helping it. Alright, so now we can lift the caliper off, take the disc off, and what we can do is just sit the caliper on top of it. Here's our disc. It was catching on the inside of it here, the pad was. Alright, let's take our pads out. Don't know how I'm going to film that. Let's take one pad out. Want to make sure we don't get them mixed up. I'm taking these out. Just sit down. I've got my new ones here. Obviously you can see these pads are still in real good condition. Like they're not worn out. I would want to put them back on there. But you can definitely see where it was wearing on the disc, which was causing that here. It was wearing in the bottom of it. That's what's causing that shudder in the steering wheel. What I'm just doing, just measuring them from the old and the new. And also making sure that they are the right pads. I don't know, to me they don't look like these are the right pads. They definitely don't look right. Alright, now I've decided I'm going to use the new rotors with the older pads because they're only 30% more. But first of all, I've just checked the pads on the rotor. What I'll do is just use some cleaner on the new disc. Right, don't touch that with my filthy hands. Let's take that rotor off for a minute. We haven't got our pads on far enough back. I have to whiten the hands, and I'll get a block of wood and I'll put in here. I'll take the pads back out, get a block of wood, and push this piston back. You don't want to be trying to force the pads back on it. Got to use a block of wood and crack that bleeder. So again, alright, I'll get a block of wood for this. I didn't have the bloody camera recording, did I? What I did is I put this socket in the caliper in there like that, and I wound this in, pushed the piston back a little bit with it, but I had the bleed nipple undone. I made a bloody hell of a mess. I didn't even realise it wasn't filmed. So I just put the first bolt in the caliper. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this one because it's that tight. I've got to get the bottom one in somewhere. Because what I want to do is I want to retake this top bolt out, and I just want to put some grease on this too because it's really dry in the thread. I'm going to grease that up and just put this bolt in the back in the top of it, top caliper. I've got to sit down, my bloody legs are killing me from standing up. Yeah, that caliper, what I just put that bolt in, look, I've got bloody brake fluid all over the ratchet. All these tools are going to have to be washed if you're touching brake fluid, because you don't want that shit over nothing, over your paintwork or anything, because it'll wreck it. And the pads on here, they're pretty good. I checked them up against the disc. I'm going to have to re-clean this disc because I've got my hands all over it. Don't know why this brake line, but someone sprayed over the brake line with black paint. Just got to get down real low because my back's all just stuffing around with getting that back in there. Like this shit. It's got brake fluid. I'll wash this too. That's the bolt in the bottom of the caliper. And of course the day's windy too. once I do that bolt up, we'll put the... Alright, the next thing what we've got to do is, we've got to hit this with just a small amount of spray. Spin this. I've got the bloody car in gear. Don't worry about it. Just hit it up. It's pretty clean on both sides. I didn't get any mix over it too much. Alright, we'll get the wheel back on it. Make sure we've got the tools in the way. Be careful too, because they've got brake fluid all over it. Alright, now got to get there. Find our right size for our wheel nut. It's probably that bastard there, it's got full of brake fluid on it. What size is that? 20? 21, isn't it? The wheel nut. Yeah, 21. Got to pull our wheel nuts on. And I wouldn't have put these new discs on there if them brake pads were like, you know, absolutely rooted. The brake pads aren't that old, they've been changed like I don't know how long ago. They got a lot of life left in them. I know the right thing to do is to put new pads on there. But I don't want to be doing this job twice. And I did make sure these pads were flush too. I didn't show you that, but I checked them. And what I'll do is I'll retighten these up with take me that off and let the wheel down. Move that crap out. Right, and we'll go down and do the other side. And when I get that set up on the other side, I'll film. Right, we'll down to this side to do this side of the, put the new discs on. Wheel nuts here. Yeah, we need to get to 19 mil. Get under these caliper bolts. Just at the top one here. And we've got the bottom one, which is see here. I do the bottom one first. Try not to lean on it. Like on the disc or anything, because we'll put pressure on there and make it harder to get the bolt out. Lubricated this bolt when I put it back on there. I'll do the same with the top. This makes it easy to get in. This side of the disc is pretty good. It's not really got no this is not the troubled side. It was definitely the left of the vehicle. Right now, don't want the caliper falling on the ground or anything like that. What we should do is crack the bleeder before we do anything else with our 8mm spanner. That way we can get it loose. Right, just crack that, because we're going to have to push this piston back as well. Right, let's take the rotor off it. We don't need that. Right, now take both pads out. Got to take both pads out, which these are good too. They're only worn about probably 30%, so that's good. I'm not a big fan of putting the pads back in. I've got one here. It doesn't appear to be grooved down or nothing. That's good. And a lot of meat left on them. So that's the back one. And that's the front. So what I might do is, I'll set the back one on the ground here. I'll set the front one on there too. Now, where's my big socket? What have I done with that big socket? Brought a big socket over here. What I need to do, put that on the car. We've got brake fluid dripping. I'll get that over around first. Oh, there it is. See the big socket. I'll get this rag, because we don't want that brake fluid dripping on the ground everywhere. We want something to catch it. Right, now grab my big socket. I'll show you how to push these pistons back. Oh, look at that, the wind blew it. Right, put the piston tool in here. This is what I mean about the wind. Don't know if he's going to see that properly. All I'm doing is I'm putting the piston, using the socket to push the piston back in there. And I'm just pressing up against the actual caliper itself, and I'm just winding it in. That's all I'm doing. You can see the brake fluid running out in the ground. Gone a bit. I've watched what I was doing then. I went off a little bit. So what we need to do is force that piston back. When you've got it forced back, like I've got it here, do up the bleeder, just so you don't make any more of a mess everywhere. decent, whatever you want to call it, back. Take it back off. Take the socket out of it. And we need to put our pads back in. Hopefully that will be enough what I've pushed back with the new rotors. But only get that in there. Check it if you've got far enough without taking it off. Just go to slide the rotor in like that and it'll go in, so we know. But what we've got to do is, we've already got to push back enough now, which it went back alright. We've got to clean this up. I'll get a rag and some spray and we'll do that. Alright, we've got some spray. Get some brake clean. This is all you have to do to clean them up. Go around it. Wipe them straight off and that's it. You've got the little film off it from when they were new. That's done. The next part is brand new disc or rotor, whatever you want to call it. Back on there, get your caliper. Make sure you get your pads lined up on the road, like that. That's it. Now, this is the tricky part, is to hold it and get your bolt in there at the same time. Your bolt started. Because I bloody can't see it properly. What a pain in the ass this is. Right. Got to start. Whew. Lube up the bolts. This rag's going out, so don't keep any of the rags when you're stuffing in with brake fluid. Bolts done up. I'm doing the bottom one up at the moment. You can't see that. Got the top one here. get our spanner. Make sure our bleeder nipple's tight, which it is. And make sure you put your little cap back on it. Move the rag out of the way. Drag that out. Let's get our wheel. Put our wheel back on. Now we need to get a 21mm, get our wheel nuts. Get our compactor. We don't want to do them up with the compactor. All we're doing is just winding them in. We're going to go around and we're going to do them all by hand anyway. Take it off the jack, move all this crap out of the way, and we're going to wash this off, and then I'll show you the next stage. Alright, this is what's causing it to shudder in the front, right on the edge of here. The paddle's gripping it, it's all uneven. This is worn right now, but that was it though. Apart from that, the disc was smooth. They were both like that. So the next step is I'll roll the car back. Alright, I've rolled the car back. The next thing you want to do is we need to wash the wheels and the concrete, because we've got brake fluid all over it. And wash the tyre, the insides of it, including the caliper. A bit of water won't hurt the new jet. And I've got to re-tighten the wheel nuts too, which I should have already done that before I'm actually hosing it and cleaning this up. And I'll just in case I touched it with my hand. The reason why I'm washing the wheels and that, because that will fling brake fluid around. So we get the water in behind the wheel touch where you touched it. Just like that. Just wash the concrete. This side, get in behind it where you've had brake fluid that's leaked on the CV and that. Washing the wheel well and the tyres. Make sure you wash the bottom of the rim and the caliper properly. Alright, now once you've done the concrete, we've got to pop the bonnet up and we'll check the brake fluid. Go into the brake fluid, take your cap off. Top our brake fluid off. Don't grip it anywhere. Put our cap back on. Make sure your cap's on there properly. Right, that's it. That's the brake fluid. Whenever you're handling brake fluid, don't go touching your paintwork. So make sure you're washing your hands all the time. We've got our lid back on, so that's good. Shut our bonnet. And what I've done before that is I should have done the wheel nuts. I have to get the long 21mm. Alright, now we've got the long 21mm. Just put it on there. Make sure you put your wheel nuts up nice and tight. Going. Alright, get the other side. Go around twice. Alright, now once you've done the brakes, we've washed the car down, we've put the new rotors on, or discs, whatever you want to call them. You want to pump the brakes before you drive the car anywhere, because otherwise you won't have no brakes. And do that while the car's running too. See, I pumped it 5 times now and we've got brakes. But if I'd have drove this car out in the road after we've loosened it off and that, you would go to stop and we wouldn't be able to stop. So far they feel good. My brakes are still need pumping a bit. Like I pumped them 5 times back there, but because I pushed the cylinders back a bit, they're taking a bit to get the fluid down there and pushing the actual pistons and the calipers back out. But yeah, the brakes are getting better. I might have trapped a little bit of air in them in the system. So it looks like it's been a success. With the new rotors. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. And yeah, have a great day.